say some of what you may have done may have helped with the timing, right? I think you.
What's that?
I think you tipping off Big U. I think that definitely.
I did.
You got the message. You hit up Big U's wife. You said, "Sis, 911. 1 sec. Let me get Solo." And you gave him a heads up.
What I tell him?
You said, 1 sec. Let me get Solo. He needs to leave. Bad.
Right by the Beverly Center. We thought we did. Somebody called us, told he was up there. I got up there. He came in.
How deep were you?
About 15.
15 people.
Yeah, we wasn't that deep.
Everybody seems to have some kind of beef with Wack 100 lately. Now 50 Cent even went off on him, accusing Wack of snitching on Big U, allegedly helping lead to Big U's indictment. Some whispers out there are even saying Wack might have been wired up to help bring down other rappers too. But hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm not making this stuff up. This is just what's being passed around in the streets. Let's get into it. The whole mess kicked off with a phone call, and not just any call. Wack 100 admitted it himself. He made a super specific and risky move. He didn't call Big U. Nope, he called Big U's wife to warn her that a federal indictment was on the way for Big U. Yeah, you heard that, right? Wack somehow knew exactly when the feds were planning to make their move.
Some of what you may have done may have helped with the timing, right? I think you.
What's that?
I think you tipping off Big U. I think that definitely.
I
helped
did
with the timing.
what?
I think you going online and saying that, and the only reason I'm saying this is that if you ever read any federal indictment,
I did what? I tipped him off?
you tipped him off via
What
online.
did the lady say in the recording I sent you?
Well,
Please don't what?
please don't tell. But this is why I'm coming to this conclusion.
Now wait a minute. How would someone who's not even in the system have that kind of inside scoop on a sealed federal op? That's way too precise to be a coincidence. And real talk, who even gives that kind of warning unless they're getting fed info from the inside? That's the exact point where 50 Cent reportedly started piecing it all together. When you stop and think about it, that whole he's wired up talk starts sounding way less like internet gossip and way more like something you might need to take real serious. But check this, 50 wasn't even the first one to raise the red flag. Suge Knight had already been sounding off way before. He supposedly warned Birdman straight up, watch out for Wack 100. Why? Because according to Suge, Wack was the one on the Fed's payroll.
And got on me the most, right? It's Birdman. Yeah, I'm a dude to keep it 100. Ain't nobody bigger than the politics. That's my brother, and we get on each other. But Birdman, out of everybody, Birdman got on my ass, like, on me. He told me how dissatisfied he is. He said, I love you, you my brother. I ain't never going. You know that. We've been in the trenches together. But God damn it, this the way I.
And that hits different when you remember. Suge and Wack go way back. So when he says something shady's going on, it makes you wonder. Then boom, the whole Big U mess explodes. That 43-count indictment came down hard like a wrecking ball. RICO charges, wire fraud, extortion, heavy stuff all lined up in black and white. The feds even tied Big U to a 2021 case involving the loss of a young musician named R.W. But here's the wild part. That detail wasn't even listed in the full 75-page indictment. Word is, Nevada's handling that angle separately, which already sounds shady on its own. But what really had people tripping? The feds were using Wack 100's own Clubhouse rants and podcast clips as part of their evidence, like actual clips. So now it's looking like Wack's big mouth might have done more than just stir the pot. It might have helped cook the whole case. That's when DJ Academics caught on, fast, and he didn't sugarcoat a thing. In an interview, he told Wack 100 straight up, no filter. Academics said, I believe you tipped off Big U. I'll say it, I really think you did that. And Wack's reaction, man, he just laughed. No denial, no explanation, just chuckling like it was a joke. That's wild, especially when your name's being tossed around in a serious federal mess. And let's be honest, this ain't even the first time people been looking at Wack 100 sideways, calling him a snitch. Folks been whispering for a while now. Let's take it all the way back to 2006. Wack 100 and his brother got pulled over in Texas and the cops found heat. We're talking loaded mags and more sitting in the car. Both of them were already convicted felons, so this should have been a slam dunk Fed case, right? But nope. 5 years later, in 2011, the whole thing just vanished.
You got the message. You hit up Big U's wife. You said, "Sis, 911. One sec. Let me get Solo." And you gave him a heads up.
What I tell her?
You said, "One sec. Let me get Solo. He needs to leave. Bad." In caps, all caps. He needs to leave.
I said so bad, right?
Yeah, so bad.
What the 600 said is 4 rolling 60 selling on it.
All right, so Wack, let me ask you
Oh, so that's what the 4 bad
What you
means.
talking about? Nigga, little brain,
Let me
nigga?
ask you this,
When
Wack.
Go to talking. I just sent you a clip. Play the clip. You're going to hear the people saying, don't say nothing. Don't tell nobody nothing. Don't say nothing. So which one you want? If he wouldn't have said nothing and y'all found out new, you would say what? Why you didn't say nothing?
Dismissed. And here's the kicker. It didn't get tossed over bad evidence or a bogus search. The motion to suppress, denied. The case was dropped under this vague courtroom phrase, interest of justice. And if you know how the legal game works, that phrase usually screams one thing: somebody cooperated. That right there had people side-eyeing Wack heavy, and not long after, his whole profile exploded. Suddenly he's everywhere, managing major artists, dropping insider info left and right, talking like he's got surveillance in every room in the industry. Meanwhile, folks around him, they start catching charges, but Wack just kept moving, untouched. Then it gets deeper. Reports say he ended up on a federal wiretap, a real one, a recorded phone call with a dude named Stutterbox, who's allegedly tied into a way bigger case involving the Main Street Mafia Crips. And what was Wack doing on that line? Sources familiar with the paperwork say he wasn't just chatting, he was connecting dots. Word is, he might have been the one helping the feds link up the whole operation like a puzzle. And let's be real, this ain't the first time whispers like this been floating around Wack. Remember when he and Birdman were locked in? They were tight, real tight. Ran Cash Money West together like it was solid. But then the energy shifted. Everything changed when Wack started managing Tekashi 6999. For a dude already accused of federal ties, linking up with someone like 6999, that's basically career suicide in the streets. And Wack did it anyway.
We got up there, we came in and shit. You had Navy SEALs with it. 2 in all directions. Probably was about 6 of them. Walkies in their ear, vested, strapped to their thigh, bullies on them, semis on them, magazine cartridges. I said, yeah, he ain't slipping.
Today's not the day.
Nah, 50 moved different.
In an interview, Wack admitted Birdman pulled him aside and pressed him about the whole Tekashi situation. Birdman didn't blast him in public, didn't throw shade online, but people definitely peeped how he switched up, kept his distance, stopped moving like they were close, and that silence, it spoke volumes. Now let's bring it back to 50 Cent, cause the drama don't stop there. Wack just so happens to manage the game, and everybody knows the history between 50 and Game. That beef was legendary chaos. But instead of letting it fade out, Wack kept the fire going. He hit up platforms, running his mouth, throwing shots, stirring it all up again. He even started talking reckless, saying stuff like 50 ain't really from the streets no more, and claiming he's just protected by the industry now. Wack even went so far as to say 50 Cent has to check in every time he touches down in LA.
60.
Hey, what's Stutterbox?
Man, put that on Pyro.
But
Put that on
so the
Pyro.
Stutterbox just
That's
called
gonna be
my
another
phone.
story we gonna talk about
Hey,
later.
what's Stutterbox got to do with something?
I'm talking about that paperwork. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
You saying I'm on paperwork?
Yeah. Bro, am I lying? Put that on
Are
Pyro,
you
you
saying
not.
Wax on paperwork?
Put that on Pyro, you
Put
not.
that on 6-0 Wax
Put on
on
6
paperwork.
Crip. You on paperwork. Put that on Pyro, you not.
Put that on
He put it on
Put that on
6
Pyro,
on
now you gotta
episode
produce
60.
it. Now
Put
you
that on
gotta
Pyro
produce
that you're
it.
not on that case.
Produce it.
Put that on Pyro that you're not on that case.
You know I'm the one got told on,
Put
right?
that on Pyro.
Basically throwing it out there that without the right clearance, 50 ain't safe moving around the West Coast. But Wack wasn't just popping off for no reason. He had a whole situation to back it up. He claimed that he and his crew pulled up to the SLS hotel trying to press 50 directly, but when they showed up, According to Wack, it looked like a full-on military lockdown. He said 50's security squad was so deep, it felt like Navy SEALs rolled up, machine firearms and all. That image alone had the internet going wild. Folks online started roasting like, why would he even admit that? It sounded less like a flex and more like Wack walked into a war zone and backed down. When the talk around Big Meech and BMF started heating up again, Wack jumped right back in the mix. He started going off about how 50 Cent's been portraying BMF in the media, straight up accusing him of squeezing every last drop out of the story just to cash in. Wack said 50's milking BMF dry, flipping real-life pain into Hollywood profit. But here's where things start getting weird. While Wack's been wilding, throwing shots all over the place.
You're saying certain I know you spoke to, or you had some information from the fam. Like, this is like, you should only know this if you're doing the investigation. But I get it. They told the people.
50's been completely silent. No slick captions, no shady power memes, no online trolling, nothing. And for someone like 50, who built his whole brand off clapping back online, that kind of silence hit different. It was loud. That's when the whispers turned into real talk.
Man, I just called my attorney, try to get him down there so Adam don't be doing no telling, bro.
Man, they saying Adam locked up, all on the blogs. What's going on?
They came and got him this morning, bro. They doubled back. They came by and we try and have him out because he's supposed to go live today.
Multiple sources close to the situation started saying the silence might not be strategy. It could be survival. Word is 50 believes Wack might be way too close to some federal heat. Some even think Wack's trying to bait him.
Second, he don't have to, but they own him about something, bro. I don't know what they own him about, but they own him about something. And I don't know if they was trying to get something out of him, but I'm pretty sure come 4 o'clock, he gonna be here. My attorney me that they're gonna definitely have him at 30 at the latest. So he'll be here at 4 o'clock. I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a lot to say.
Actually, to be totally real,
What do you mean?
He called me. I told him exactly what the Fed said. I told him, like, don't say anything. And then his way of not saying anything is to call into the news and basically put forth a completely misleading narrative because, you know, he just loves to cause chaos and everything. And from my perspective, okay, let's go viral. Sure. Post whatever. I don't care.
It did help, though.
Right?
Y'all seen my face in here
Like,
when that
bump?
nigga Wack was on the phone.
I mean, bro, if I was arrested, I feel like you guys
bro,
would
that
probably
nigga at
know.
home, bro. No way.
An agent of beautiful chaos.
Pull him into some mess that could flip legal real quick. And just when that theory started buzzing online, the Big U indictment dropped. A massive RICO case with 43 counts suddenly landed. And now all the little puzzle pieces started falling into place. The indictment went deep, naming 18 members tied to the Rollins 60s. But guess whose name was missing? Wack 100. And that's exactly what had people giving serious side-eye. Cause here's the wild part. His voice was reportedly all over the paperwork. How does that even make sense? If you're that deep in the conversations, but your name somehow skips the indictment list? Yeah, that's when folks start asking real questions. Then Wack dropped another bomb, this time dragging Adam 22, founder of No Jumper, into the mess. Wack claimed Adam got snatched up in the same RICO sweep. Keep in mind, Wack's a regular on No Jumper, so this one hit close. He even called into the show himself, saying he had just spoken with his lawyer and was trying to get him down there ASAP, like he didn't want Adam saying the wrong thing to anybody. According to Wack, the feds scooped Adam up that very morning and then came back again. But then Wack added something shady. He admitted he didn't even know what exactly the feds were pressing Adam about. Still, he was sure they had him on the hook for something. But just when things looked like they were spiraling out of control, Adam 22 stepped in and shut it all the way down. He said flat out, he wasn't arrested, no cuffs, no holding cell, nothing. And he didn't stop there. He fired back with some slick shade too, saying Wack's got an overactive imagination. He made it crystal clear he's not under investigation, and according to him, he's not in any kind of legal trouble, at least for now. But then Adam dropped a little something that made everything even messier. Low-key, but huge. He admitted the feds did pull up to his spot, and they didn't come empty-handed. They spoke directly with his lawyer. Why? Because they were after one specific thing, a cease and desist letter from Big U. That letter was sent about a year ago, demanding No Jumper take down a podcast episode where Loose Cannon allegedly claimed Big U had prior knowledge about what was going to happen to Nipsey Hussle before it went down. Adam also pointed out something that got people thinking. There's nothing in the original indictment or criminal complaint that even mentions that cease and desist letter. So to him, the whole thing feels off. Suspicious even. It's got him wondering what the feds are really digging for when it comes to Big U. And just like that, the spotlight swung right back to Wack 100, the same guy who tried to drag Adam into all this drama in the first place. But here's the thing. Wack's name ain't on that indictment either. Not once. Yet somehow he's out here speaking like he's sitting in on FBI meetings. That's when the internet turned up on him hard. People started calling him Rat 100 and the comment sections brutal. One user said, Wack is a terrific informant, man of many talents, snitching being one of them. Another chimed in, I've never seen a so-called G who knows that much about the feds. And honestly, that's not just trolling. That's years of suspicion finally spilling out into the open. Because real talk, how does someone with no badge know exactly what's going down in a federal case? Who's talking, when it's happening, and what it's about? That ain't normal. So now we're asking you, what do you think? Are all these allegations on Wack 100 just smoke, or is there real fire behind it? Drop your take in the comments. We're reading every single one. And if you're rocking with these raw, no-cap street stories and deep dive breakdowns with zero fluff, go ahead and smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and catch our next video. You don't want to miss what's coming next. See you on the next one.